Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to cover the 4 attachment styles, because if you can learn this, you can master it, then you can improve all of your relationships. Let's dive in. Now, have you ever wondered why it seems like certain people can get into a relationship and they're perfect in a relationship, it's good, it seems really easy, and then some of your friends might be in like a constant struggle where they seem to keep finding the same person over and over again, but they just look a little bit different? A lot of times what it is, it comes down to how we attach to a partner. And you might notice that someone that you're really close to can be one way when you're with them. Like maybe it's a really good friend you've known for a while, right? And you notice that when you're around them, everything's good, everything's great. When they're around friends, everything's good, everything's great. But then when they're around their partner, they almost completely change into a different person. Like they might be in business, they might be confident and outgoing, and they look like they've got it all together. And then when they get into relationships with someone, it's like the little wounded child comes out, and they can become fearful, and they can become scared when they're in a relationship, and they can become jealous. And it's almost like they're a different person. The thing that we're going to talk about today is your attachment style, so that you can understand yourself, you can understand your relationship, people in your relationships with. And these are important for you to understand so that you can heal yourself, because if you don't heal yourself, they're going to keep coming up, but just in a new relationship. I don't know if you've ever noticed this before, but sometimes you can break up with somebody because of XYZ, the way the partner's showing up, the way that you're showing up is just not working. And then you get into another relationship and the exact same problem comes up. Well, it's usually because of the way that you attach to the other person. And usually, based off the way that you attach to somebody, usually you start to look for a person to attach to that is going to bring out the triggers within you. But it's also really important for you to understand this within yourself, but also so you can understand your partner. And oftentimes, people don't realize this, but your partner will be a proxy for your parents. So what is unhealed in your parental relationships will come up in your romantic relationships. The universe will continue to keep presenting you with the thing that you need to learn and get better at until you decide to actually learn and get better at it. I have a friend whose husband, like she has a tumultuous relationship with her mother. I'll put it that way. Her husband, she didn't realize it until about a year of being married to him, is almost exactly like her mother. And so she has this tumultuous relationship with her mother, and now all of those things are coming up in the relationship with her husband. And so let's dive into it, let's talk about it. But I'm going to say 3 different statements to you. And I want you to find out which of these 3 statements do you feel describe you the most accurately. Okay? Statement A is, I find it relatively easy to get close to others, and I am comfortable depending on them and having them depend on me. I don't worry about being abandoned or about someone getting too close to me. Does statement A hit home with you? Okay, here is statement B. I find that others are reluctant to get as close as I would like. I often worry that my partner doesn't really love me or won't stay with me. I want to get very close to my partner, and this sometimes scares people away. Does statement B feel like it relates to you? Okay, here's statement C. I am somewhat uncomfortable being close to others. I find it difficult to trust them completely, difficult to allow myself to depend on them. I am nervous when anyone gets too close, and often others want me to be more intimate than I feel comfortable being. Does statement C hit home with you? Okay, these statements correspond to the 3 main attachment styles, and there's a 4th one that we're going to talk about as well, that were identified by English psychologist John Browley in the 1950s and 60s. He's the guy who invented this thing called the attachment theory and the attachment styles. So if statement A hit home for you the most, you're most likely what's called a secure attachment. And these people who have secure attachments find it easy to love and trust others, and they are comfortable with intimacy and dependency. Okay, if option B, statement B, feels like it hit home with you the most, you are most likely an anxious attachment. These individuals crave closeness but fear abandonment. And they often worry about their partner's love, that their partner's love may display aggressive behaviors that can create a crisis in relationship. And then 3, the third one, which is option C, if option C felt like it hit home with you the most, is avoidant attachment. These individuals are uncomfortable with intimacy and tend to withdraw emotionally. They prefer solitude and often avoid close relationships to protect themselves. I'm going to talk about it, but for me, this is the one that I identified that I was years and years ago. Ultimately, what we're all searching for is healthier relationships. And by understanding yourself and understanding others, you're going to be able to communicate more effectively and have better relationships. So that's what I got for you for today's episode. If you love this episode, please share it on your Instagram stories. Tag me in it, Rob Dial Jr., ROBDIALJR. Also, if you love this podcast, you'll definitely love Mindset Mentor Plus. It is a program that I created that takes every single podcast that comes out of this podcast 4 times a week, and we create worksheets, detailed worksheets that you can print out, you can underline, you can highlight, and it goes deeper than just the podcast itself so that you can really just have like a mini masterclass for every single episode that comes out. It goes deeper than just the podcast. It's got journaling questions, it's got assignments, it's got all of these different things so that you can really integrate every single episode. Also, there's an entire community of over 1,000 people that are in this that you can meet, that you can get to know. You can see if anybody lives in your area and start to meet other people who are on this self-development journey as well. And then last but not least, the other thing that we do is we do monthly Q&A sessions where I go live on Zoom and answer questions that are live right there. So if that sounds like something that you want to learn more about, just go to mindsetmentor.com. You can watch the video that's up there. Once again, it's mindsetmentor.com. And with that, I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every single episode. Make it your mission to make somebody else's day better. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have an amazing day.